The Warden's obsidian form shifted a mockery of patience. "You trespass, little archaeologist. This place is beyond your comprehension." His voice resonated with ancient malice, echoing through the cavern. Rhys didn't reply, his gaze fixed on Amelia. She stood a few feet from the heart, her eyes unfocused, a faint smile playing on her lips. The violet light pulsed around her, bathing her in an ethereal glow. Virgil's voice crackled from the speakers, strained and desperate. "The shadow weave, it feeds on devotion. Sever the connection, Rhys, before it consumes her completely." Khalil, leaning heavily on his cane, shuffled closer. "The scroll I remember now, the lullaby. The counter-resonance, it dampens the weaver's power, but it must be asterisks on asterisk." He coughed, a dry, rattling sound. "It's faint, almost lost to time." Rhys holstered his revolver, approaching Amelia cautiously. "Amelia, can you hear me?" Her eyes drifted towards him, a flicker of recognition in their depths. "It's beautiful, Rhys," she whispered, her voice distant and melodic. "A heart it sings. A song of understanding." "That's not your son, Amelia," Rhys said gently, reaching out a hand. "That's the shadow weavers. It's tricking you." The Warden laughed, a sound like grinding stone. "Foolish mortal, you cannot defy the ancient pact. The weaver has chosen its vessel. Its return is inevitable." Suddenly the faint, almost imperceptible humming emanated from Amelia. It was fragile, wavering, but unmistakably a melody. "The lullaby. She remembers," Khalil exclaimed, his voice laced with hope. "Encourage her, Rhys. Amplify the resonance." Rhys's mind raced. He needed to find a way to project the lullaby, to strengthen it enough to break the shadow weaver's hold. He glanced at Virgil's speakers. Too weak. He needed something that could amplify sound. His eyes fell on the Warden's massive form, the vibrations of his movements, the resonating hum of his very being. If he could somehow harness that. He began to move, circling the Warden, distracting him while simultaneously manipulating his movements, forcing him into rhythmic patterns that would amplify the faintest tremor. The Warden, sensing Rhys's intention, roared in frustration, increasing his movements, unwittingly amplifying the lullaby. The humming grew louder, clearer, swirling around Amelia. Her expression began to shift, the vacant serenity fading, replaced by a look of dawning awareness. The violet light around her seemed to dim, flickering uncertainly. "I remember," she said, her voice gaining strength. She closed her eyes and began to sing, a voice pure and clear, weaving the lullaby into a tangible force. The shadow weaver's voice echoed in her mind, a desperate whisper. "Asterisk no. Do not resist. Embrace the power. Asterisk." But Amelia pressed on, her voice rising above the weaver's entreaties, the lullaby gaining power with each note. The violet light surrounding the heart began to recede, revealing the cavern walls in stark relief. The Warden staggered, his obsidian form flickering, losing its solidity. The amplified lullaby was disrupting his connection to the heart, weakening his protective barrier. Rhys seized the opportunity, firing his revolver, not at the Warden but at a point on the cavern wall, making a small, strategically placed charge of dynamite. The resulting tremor further amplified the lullaby, sending a shockwave through the cavern. The shadow weaver's voice shrieked in frustration, a desperate wail that quickly faded as Amelia's voice grew stronger. The Heart of Zerzura pulsed with a new rhythm, no longer a song of manipulation, but a hymn of liberation. The Warden crumbled, his form dissipating into dust. The cavern fell silent, the oppressive energy lifting, replaced by a sense of profound peace. Amelia opened her eyes, a gaze clear and focused. "It's gone," she whispered, looking at Rhys with a mixture of relief and exhaustion. Virgil's voice crackled through the speakers, no longer frantic, but filled with a quiet triumph. "You did it, Rhys. You severed the connection. But be warned, the Heart of Zerzura is not defeated. It merely sleeps, and it will awaken at pain." Khalil, leaning heavily on his cane, smiled weakly. The scrolls warn of a cycle of repetition. "We must be vigilant." Rhys looked at the Heart of Zerzura, a deep sense of unease settling in his stomach. They had won this battle, but the war was far from over. The legend of Zerzura, he realized, was not a treasure to be found but a threat to be contained, and their journey had only just begun.